So I've moved past that level of mad, you know, that one where you like your hands shake and you want to cry and you don't know how to control your volume, and you can feel your voice shaking while you're talking because your hands are shaking too, and you know that it makes you look weak and sound weak, but it's because you're so incredibly mad. Thankfully, I have moved past that in this situation. I'm now at this weird calm where I feel like that's a worse place for people on the receiving end of what's going on to be, is when I'm in this weird calm. For those of you who do not know what's going on, SquirrelTribe and newbies to SquirrelTribe, welcome. There has been an issue with my apartment complex and the breaking of my lease and moving out. I've got a few past videos if you guys want to take a look, but I will just give you a little summation real quick. I broke our lease because we bought a house. I paid the lease breakage fee. The assistant manager did an apartment walk without myself or my husband, pulled back carpets and tried to say that we stained carpets, and now wants to charge us money for said carpets when that is not at all true or real. And they changed the locks before our lease was even up, right? So that's where we're at. So the manager of the apartment complex I was at is on vacation until Thursday. The assistant manager is still there. And if you guys were here before, you know, I sent an email and I told the assistant manager not to waste my time because she is a pointless human being to talk to, and I will wait for the manager to come back. Well, this morning I woke up and I changed my mind, and I decided that corporate was the best direction to go, that waiting until Thursday probably would make the most sense, but it's not something I was able to do because I have been chomping at the bit over this because it has pissed me off to no end. And it's a principle thing. I don't care what anybody says, it's a principle thing. People are going to say it's only $300, $400, whatever. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Okay. In this economy, that is a lot of money. I bought eggs today for $8.75. So $300 to $400 is a lot of eggs, right? But I decided I was going to reach out to corporate. So I pulled up the corporate phone number, which is in Texas, and I called the corporate number, and I wasn't able to get to anybody in guest relations, which is what I figured I needed to speak to, right? Guest relations, or whatever the word relations they had there. So I left a message, and then at the end of my message, it says you can hit 1 or whatever and they will call you back, or you can get our email address. And I was like, oh, let's do that. Let's do email address. So now you have a voicemail from me. Let's also do email address. And I also submitted a complaint through their online form. So I sent an email to the complex, right? The apartment complex, Mac Daddy, Big Daddy, the one who's over all of it. And I sent this email and I basically said exactly what was going on. I said my name, I said what apartment complex I was calling about. I mentioned the manager by name and the assistant manager by name. And I said that there has been a issue with the end of our lease that needs to be discussed, and activities that go against OSHA and that are illegal and that go against Florida laws and all kinds of stuff, right? So they called me back. This lovely lady named Kim called me back. So Kim calls me and she says, explain to me exactly what's going on, because I missed her phone call first. And so this is the thing. It was a Texas number that I called, but a Tennessee number called me back. So I was like, this is spam, not answering it. Turns out it was her. So she leaves a voicemail and she says, hey, Michelle, I'm calling you because I got your voicemail and I've reached out to Anna in the apartment complex. And I'm guessing this is a phone call that you need to have based off of the carpets and the fee that will be charged for the carpet removal and replacement. She goes, I will give you a call back later on in the day. So she calls me back. And I answer the phone because I recognize the number now. I have it saved. This is Kim from, the apartment complex. I said, make sure you answer this. So I answer the phone and I answer the phone. Hey, this is Michelle. She goes, hi, Michelle. This is Kim from blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, Kim, nice to hear from you. Thanks for calling me back. Very, very nice for myself because I know that I'm about to get real not very nice. And she says, listen, I want you to tell me kind of sort of what's going on. Well, this phone call is during pickup time for my child. So my husband is also in the car. Now, he is the calm one of the two of us. If you guys have ever seen his channel, Kevin24x7 on YouTube, he is the calm one. I am the emotional one. He is the one who is level-headed. I'm the one who is not so level-headed, and I have a tendency to speak before I think, blah, blah, blah. So we're on Bluetooth, speakerphone, whatever you call it. And I'm explaining to her, I said, well, before we even get to the carpet situation, let me name everything that's gone on the last couple of years that are against OSHA regulations, that are probably illegal in numerous ways, and other things that are just not safe for tenants of this apartment complex. And so I list everything. And then I said, and now let's talk about the carpets and how this all transpired. And so I went through the whole situation of the lease ending and going into the office, and Anna saying that she couldn't do the walk with me and doing the walk by herself, which, you know, not a great look there, number one. And I mentioned how the pictures that were sent to me, the one where she is standing in our master bathroom and takes a picture of the master carpet is not at all what our carpet looked like at the end of our lease. I don't know when she actually took the picture, but it does not coincide with our carpet at the time, which I have pictures and videos of. It's not the same at all. So I tell her these things and I explain to her, you know, yes, we have a golden doodle. Yes, he's 80 pounds. Yes, you know, he's in the apartment, but he does not go in our room. He does not go in the guest room. He goes in my daughter's room and sleeps on her bed, but he also, the only time he goes into the other rooms is if maintenance comes in and he has to be put into a locked room because we don't put him in a crate, right? So I explained to her and she says, well, you know, they're wanting to charge for the carpets due to the dog smell. And I said, wait, is it the dog smell or is it because they said they pulled up the carpet and found stains underneath? Because now you're being told something completely different than I was being told, and there is no dog smell. So already there's an issue there. And I explained to her, I said, if they knew ahead of time that we had pets, which they did, and they took, by the way, y'all, they took a $500 pet fee when we got in there. We had to pay our $500 security deposit, all right? And we had a $500 pet fee, not a deposit, a fee, meaning we don't get this money back. And so I completely forgot about it. And then when I saw it, I was thinking it was a deposit. No, it was a fee. So my brain is going, if you took a $500 pet fee from me, what is that money used for if not for carpets at the end, if that's what you want to use it for, or floors that may have gotten scratched up by dogs or any of these other things? Why are you now trying to take like $350 out of my security deposit to cover these carpets? I have very many questions, right? So I'm explaining all these things to Kim. And I say to her, you know, there was black mold in the ceiling of our bathroom, and instead of cutting it out, they decided to paint over it. So they're more worried about an apartment that might possibly smell like a dog than they are about the black mold in the master bedroom that can physically make people sick. They won't replace a piece of ceiling, but they want me to pay to replace all 3 carpets. And why did they want me to pay them to clean the carpets if they knew damn well that at the end they were just going to try to charge me for said carpets? So here's what's happening, y'all. Here's what's happening. Kim took my statement, I guess is the word we're going to use here, my statement of exactly what was going on. And she said, okay, well, let me reach back out to the complex itself. And I said, well, you're going to get Anna. And Anna is the problem here. Anna is the reason why we're having this conversation, because the manager is on vacation until Thursday. So either you're going to have to resolve this, or we're going to have to wait till Thursday to resolve this, because Anna is useless. There's no point in talking to Anna. And so she goes, okay, well, let me get everything together and I'll reach back out. So she does. She calls me back like she said she would. She goes, hey, Michelle, I'm just calling you back. You know, I told you I'd give you a call. She goes, I think we need to wait until Thursday because I have come up with a solution that I think both parties will agree upon. But I need to run it by the manager first because I don't want to, you know, just pull the rug out from underneath her kind of thing, or whatever the phrasing was. And I said, no, that's fine. I understand. You have until Thursday, basically, you know, and then I will go farther if necessary because I've already spoken to a lawyer and there's other things that I can do. So she says, I'll reach back out to you on Thursday. Now, here's where my husband and I are on this. I think that they are going to offer to refund me the money that I used to clean the carpets, which is $65 a room times 3. So what is that? This is how I do math. 1 down to 60, 1 up to 70 is 130 plus 65. So 195, right? If I can do math, which sometimes not very good at it. 195 back. They want 350, I think, for the carpets. I think they're going to make me pay the difference in between and take it out of my security deposit. They're going to try. My husband, though, thinks that they are just going to call it done, call it clean, and give me back my security deposit, and they're going to have to eat the cost of the carpets, which, as you know, law of wear and tear, they should have to do anyway. It should not be on me whatsoever, not in the least. Plus, again, you took a $500 pet deposit. What are you doing with that money? Are you shoving it up your ass and you're like holding on to it, or where is it going, if not for anything else? I am sticking to my guns. If she calls me on Thursday, and I don't care if I sound like a Karen, I don't care if people have issues with this, it is the principle of the entire thing. If they call me on Thursday and they say, hey, listen, this is what we decided, we're gonna split it down the middle and you pay this half and the apartment complex will eat this half, I'll say, How about this? I'll see you in court. I am more than willing to spend a couple extra dollars to prove a point than I am to pay their stupid bill for something we did not do and for something that should not be charged to the tenant no matter what after 3 years due to wear and tear. It's normal wear and tear on those carpets. You would think that they looked brand new. They actually came in less than a year ago to do, what was it? The smoke detector thing. You know, they come in apartments and they check probably once a quarter, but almost like a year ago, not even a full year. Anna actually came in with them because she wanted to look over everything. They checked the top of the stove to make sure it was good because it's an electric stove. And she walked in the rooms and the carpets. And at the end of everything, she goes, everything looks great. She didn't say it smelled like dog. She didn't say the carpets looked bad, that they were heavily trafficked, or they looked like they should be pulled up and checked underneath, like none of these things. So again, I'm not paying them. What's interesting on top of all of this is what's going on here in the house, y'all, here in the house. I don't know if this is a company's worried about the economy right now, but we have a thing called FPL. It's Florida Power and Lights, or Florida Power something. I don't even know what it stands for, FPL, right? And we had it in the apartment complex. It's who does our electric stuff. And I didn't have to put a deposit down in the apartment, maybe because it was an apartment complex and it has a owner over everything. I'm not sure, but I didn't have to put a deposit down. When we moved to this house, I called them and I said, hey, I just want to shut off service at the apartment on the 28th of February, which is our last day in the apartment. And I wanted to start at our new house on, before that, because we were moving in for a week before our apartment lease was up. So I said, I kind of need an overlapping account. And they're like, that's fine. It'll be a $400 deposit. And I was like, why a $400 deposit? Like, I don't understand. I didn't need to deposit anything. I've never been late on a bill. I've never had the power shut off, any of these things. Why do you need a deposit? Well, this is what's interesting. So they sent this letter and they said, to assist us in determining whether a deposit would be required on your new electric service account, we obtained information from the consumer reporting agency shown below, which is Equifax Credit, okay? They pulled my credit score. And I'm like, okay, I definitely shouldn't have to pay a deposit because I have really good credit. Like, I've worked my ass off since the last home we purchased to have really good credit. If you've been here for a while, like if you're OG Squirrel Tribe, then you guys know, before I bought my last house, my credit score was like 530. It was trash because at 18, I had no clue about credit cards because they don't teach you anything in school. And I got my first credit card and I maxed that shit out on spring break senior year. And then from there, just thought that credit cards were, whatever. Completely screwed my credit so incredibly hard. It was absolutely ridiculous. But when I wanted to buy my house in 2020, I had to do it under my name for business reasons, my husband's business, and it made it easier to do it under my name, whereas our previous houses were all under his and mine. This one, the last one, we did under mine. But I needed to fix my credit score, and I was able to raise it to 810 within less than 60 days in order to get pre-approval and the loan and everything else for the house, right? And since then, I have kept it pretty high. It's dropped down to, I think, 690 at one point. Nothing because of me, but if you don't have a lot of debt to income ratio is what they look at. So when we were buying things for the apartment when we first moved in, I had a higher debt because I was using credit and stuff like that. So it messes up your credit score. Anyway, now all that's paid off and all we have are the cars and that's it. Like, there's no debt. So my credit score has actually been very, very good. So when Florida Power, FPL, decides that they're going to pull the consumer report to decide if they need to charge me a deposit, they say here, listen, we obtained your credit score from this consumer reporting agency, Equifax, and used it in making our credit decision. Your credit score is a number that reflects the information in your credit report, as we all know, right? Your credit score can change depending on how the information in your credit report changes. This is what they say. They said my credit score is 903. Which I didn't even know it went that high. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought 840 was like the top out. But they said my credit score was 903 and it ranges from 0 to 999. And because my credit score was 903 out of 999, they deemed I needed to put down a deposit. What? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. So the reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is there are going to be a lot of people in the foreseeable future who think that they are going to be able to do things monetarily that they might not be able to do. Like, I was not expecting to have to put a $400 deposit down on the power here because it doesn't make sense why I would need to. What about other people who may be in, I don't want to say worse situations because that sounds weird to me, but may have a lower credit score and may have a little tighter budget, right? Maybe they're trying to get out of an apartment. Maybe they're trying to get out of their parents' house. Maybe they're trying to get out of a bad relationship and they're trying to get their own place. And having to put deposits on everything. What if you have to put deposit on your electricity? You have to put deposit on your gas. What if you have to put deposit on your water? What if you have to put deposit on all these other things? It's going to make it so very hard for a lot of people to be able to make that step from wherever they were to wherever it is that they want to go. And I'm thinking if they're requesting a $400 deposit from me, which according to them, I have a fantastic credit score in their rating system, what kind of money are they going to expect from somebody who may be under 800, under 700, under whatever? Like, that's kind of a big deal to think about and to realize that there are so many hurdles and obstacles that could stop people from getting not even just their dream home, but a place to live in general. There may be some apartment complexes out there who require that you do deposits, right? Like we had to do the security deposit and the pet fee and the whatever else. But what if there's those ones who are like, well, you have to pay the first and last month's rent? Some people don't have that ability. I feel like we're going to see a lot of up and down over the next year, and not because of Trump, but just in general with the I don't want to say uneasiness of the economic system, but when you have the tariffs now, because Canada and Mexico and China are trying to fight back against Donald Trump and his tariffs, you're going to see a lot of stuff. My husband and I were talking about it earlier. He got an email from Tesla and they're like, hey, 0% interest on a Model 3 for 60 months. You see Ford, hey, 0% interest on a Ford Expedition or whatever car for 60 months. Rooms to Go, the furniture place, they're always 0% interest. And we were talking about it and I said, well, maybe these companies are realizing that they can't sell you a $50,000 car with, or they can sell you a $50,000 car with a 3% interest rate and you're fine. But now with these new tariffs, and Ford makes a lot of their stuff in Mexico, Tesla makes stuff in Mexico and China. What if now, because of the tariffs and stuff, instead of a $50,000 Ford, it's got to be a $60,000 Ford? Are you still willing to pay that 3% interest on your loan or whatever? So maybe they're like, well, if we're going to have to jack the price up 10 grand, we'll lower the interest rates to 0 because we have to be able to move these vehicles. Because if not, that's so many jobs that are affected. That's the only thing I can think of on why so many people right now are putting out that 0% interest, because it's not around the holidays normally when it happens. I don't know that it normally happens before summer. Maybe it possibly does. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I do think that with what's going on with the economy, we're going to see a lot of things up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But what I do know is that on Thursday, y'all, it's going to be interesting. I did not go, just FYI, for yesterday, Monday, I did not go to the apartment complex because I knew that my bail fund would have come into play. I could feel it in my bones and I knew it wasn't going to work out well because listen, I'm not a violent person. I'm really not, I promise you. Yeah, I had my scuffles when I was younger or whatever else, but I'm not a violent person. But I also knew that in this situation, with as pissed as I am about this situation, if a facial expression had gone awry on Anna's face, or if the tone had been wrong, or if she had stood too close to me, I already knew I was going to snap a little bit and it wasn't worth it. At the end of the day, it wasn't worth it. I have got to keep my calm. I've got to keep my cool, because me lashing out in face to face is not going to help my case or my situation here at all. So I did the big girl grown up thing and stayed away and instead went to corporate, bypassed the bitch is what I want to call it, and went to corporate. And now, like I said, on Thursday, we'll see what happens. I will, of course, you guys will be the first ones to know what's going on. But until then, I don't know. Side note, I will have live streams again, I promise you, but we're working on getting AT&T fiber here because the internet here sucks so hard, like it is so bad that I can't go live. It just will not work. So hopefully they'll be back out tomorrow to finish up and we can have a live stream on Thursday and we can discuss this whole situation with the apartment complex and why I think that they are greedy little mofos who will lie in hopes of getting money in their pocket. Because get this, they have a back page, they have a bottom line, they have a goal that they are supposed to hit monthly. And me breaking my lease hurts their yearly goal, obviously, of how many units they're going to rent out, how much money they're going to bring in, because there goes the garage we rented from them. There goes that monthly pet fee. There goes all these different things. And it hurts them, right? So I can see why they want to try to charge as much as humanly possible for every little thing. But we're still going to fight it because it's not right. And I am going to stand up for those who could not stand up for themselves or did not realize they could stand up for themselves. And I don't know where we'll go from there, but they're not going to want me to leave a really, really bad review. So I feel like maybe on Thursday we'll get lucky and they will do the right thing and tell me my security deposit will be sent back in full and that the complex will take care of the carpets as they should due to the law of normal wear and tear. So that's that. Plus, again, you have $500 pet fee. What the fuck are you doing with it if you're not using it for stuff like that? So I love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow at some point. And then Thursday, y'all, put it on your calendar. It's going to be a big day. So have a good night. Bye, guys.